All right, I think this thing is up and running. Doing another update. It's been a little less than a month since my last update, but I feel like I had some good momentum. Been about 3 weeks. Some things I'm going to want to talk about are going to be my progress on reading. Some other things, there's a new syllabus that I didn't realize was out, so I'm going to have to kind of look at that. I've been trying my best to do some tastings. There's a couple challenges there, and struggling with the quality of describing beers, but I have a plan of action. So let's take a look at all of that goodies. So first, I finished this book. It's a skinny book, the Draft Beer Quality Manual. Yeah, really skinny, if I could show that. But again, it took me a little while, a bit at a time. But that was really good. A lot of technical details in here. This is my style of things that I can kind of grasp, and I feel like it's easier to retain and memorize that stuff. So that was good. And I'm planning on starting the Brewmaster's table. Finally, going to start cracking open this book this week. If not tonight, maybe tomorrow. I did realize there's a new syllabus. It actually came out back in April, but I've been so preoccupied I didn't really know about that. But that's something worth considering. There's a 4.1 version I had from last year. I'll skim through and see what's different. Not that worried about it though. My commercial examples of all the 400 plus beers that are on the list of things I could try if I want to try all 70, up to 48 I've tried. That's pretty good. And I'm going to use tasting sheets. What does that mean? So let's take a look at all my progress in the past 3+ weeks. So first off, Draft Beer Quality Manual. I have the book, but I also have the PDF. This thing was great. Look at how many pages. I mean, it says like 120, including all the index and stuff. But basically, there's 8 chapters, right? So I went through it pretty methodically with a highlighter. And after I finished it, I went back and took all my highlighted notes and made my own cliff notes. And this is something I'm going to be using to kind of recap and bring all the relevant facts that I thought were relevant into my mind once I get closer to taking this test. So, chapter 1 is about draft system components. Chapter 2 is about the temporary systems like jockey boxes and stuff. Chapter 3 was direct draw or short draw systems. And let's see, chapter 4 is more long draw, the more complex systems where they have lengths of cable running all over the place, how they keep the beer at the right temperature. Lots of facts there. Chapter 5 is about more of the details involving the proper pour, balancing the system, PSI here and there, and the pressure, and calculating, your altitude and all kinds of stuff. Chapter 6 is more about the serving quality. Lots of notes here. Chapter 7 was about system maintenance and cleaning, which actually that's where I started helping myself in my homebrew setup, taking some mental notes from this and applying that to my real life at home. And chapter 8 was all about troubleshooting. And honestly, I only put a little bit of notes here, but there's a lot of stuff in that chapter, but things that I don't think I'm going to be trying to memorize. But all in all, that was a pretty good read. I'm really excited about that. So moving on to how do I keep track of my progress? So let me go into my SharePoint list. And I have this task, draft beer quality manual, and I'm going to set that from in progress to completed. Yay! So that's pretty cool. And now I got to go take another task. Like I said, I want to start reading another book. So now, lots of stuff I put in here that I might do, but reading the Brewmaster's table, I'm officially going to put this into in progress. Now that's going to be the next thing I try to tackle. So in addition to that though, the syllabus. So I have the version 4.1, which I downloaded last year, and look, it was updated August 1st, right? So at the time I was only a few months past that. I did this right around January. And I just downloaded the version 5.0. I haven't even looked through it yet to see the differences. I'm sure there's not many, but there's probably some. Something I'm going to try to start comparing this month just so I know what they've added, what they've removed, stuff like that. But then what else do I have? The style guidelines. So again, one of my weekly goals is I try to find new beers I haven't tried yet. And I'm going through the bjcp guidelines. As you go through all this stuff, you get to a style. Let me see if I can just pull one up. You start having all the facts about the beer. International Amber Lager. Okay, they talk about a lot of good stuff, but what I've been focusing on is picking the commercial examples, finding one of these to try, not just some local beer that is in the style, but one that is recognized as being in the style. And then I try that beer. And how do I keep track of that? Again, I have my SharePoint list. So I have the style, all the beers grouped by which ones I've tried. Now I'm at the 48. And then the ones that are in those styles, I don't want to spend my time finding them yet, so I tag them as style tried. So there's 182 beers I get to skip for now. But there's 188 left that if I find them, I add them to my grocery cart and I go to buy them, and now I'm going to continue trying to find some of these. So like later today, I'm going to try another beer, which I have in the fridge. Let's see, Smutty Nose. I have it up here already. So Smutty Nose Old Brown Dog Ale. It is of the style American Brown Ale. So what I'm going to get to do later, after I try that one beer, take some notes of it, I'm going to find all the other beers, American Brown Ale, and I'm not going to want to try them. I want to shorten my list as much as possible. So later, I'm just going to tag all of these and mark them as style tried, except the one I actually tried, right? So then my list is going to get shorter really quick, which for me is great. But the challenge I'm having is that I go to my local markets and they don't have any of these beers anymore, so I'm having to find new markets to go to. And instead of pulling up SharePoint on my phone, which honestly it's a little slow, I made a list. I popped it into Outlook, and I just bring it up. It's easy to scroll, and I just walk down the aisle. I'm like, do they have any of these beers? So I have them alphabetized, the whole list of beers that are remaining, and I keep editing it. So let's see, Avery Ellie's Brown Ale. Once I try this other beer, I'm going to trim this list even more. And if I don't really want to go by alphabetized, I then have the same list grouped by style. So I could say, hey, where's your brown ales? And then, okay, I'll be like, do you have any of these 7 beers? Okay, where's your Baltic porters? Do you have any? And I'll see if you have any of these. So that's one of my goals, to try one of every 70 styles, right? The mission continues. Other than that, what do I have here? When I have these beers, I've realized I'm really not good at being able to describe them. Whether it's the aroma, like what do I detect? The words aren't coming to me, honestly. So I'm printing out commonly available beer sheets, whether there's bjcp scoring sheets, which I have 2 different versions of it, the old and the new, which kind of gives you some of the things that you would be looking for as a beer judge, right? So if I'm drinking a beer now, I'll have like a short list of things. Oh, I'll say, oh, I always say malty, but I'm like, let's try to do one better than that. So I'm like, malty. I'm like, and I'll look at this list. I'm like, do I get grainy? Do I get biscuit? Do I get bready? Like, I'm going to try to look at this to bring the words out of my head, and then make little notes as I taste the beer just for that day. I'm not going to like store it or anything, but this will help me start having a vocabulary, maybe hone my senses a bit as I continue trying beers. So I'm going to try one of these sheets, or each one of them. I'll see which one I prefer. I even got the one from Beerology. She has a good website. She had ones very colorful and formatted nice. So based on which one of these I find most useful, hopefully my tastings become a little more having some substance, right? But other than that, I'm going to shift to reading this book, Brewmaster's Table, this month. I'm going to also focus on my home brewing. So at home, I've used the cleaning tips to finally start cleaning my beer lines. I bought new beer lines since they were really old, but now I'm cleaning them every 2 to 3 weeks. And I'm trying to have best practices and get used to the ritual, keep my equipment in better quality so my homemade beer isn't tainted, right? Honestly, there's probably so many off flavors I've been used to, and I just didn't know it because I had really bad beer lines. But yeah, so I'm doing that. I actually emptied a keg, and I'm trying to make homemade seltzer, which is obviously not that hard work. It's literally just water under CO2, right? But I just want to get to the habit of having CO2 on tap for me and my wife. Even my son likes bubbly water. And then after that, maybe find what do I want to add to it, whether I put something in the glass or if I start infusing the kegs with something, emulating the breweries, right? Having a, not hard seltzer, but soft seltzer to start. Maybe down the line, make a real hard seltzer. But and other than that, I still have to homebrew. I have a recipe on the back burner. Just the weather's been killing me. I've been so busy juggling things. But yeah, and one other thing I want to do in the next month while I continue reading is order one of these off flavor kits and skunk a beer like an Amstel Light. Go through the 6 off flavors that they have. Just practice, because I plan on doing that like 3 or 4 times to really get a couple laps around the whatever the track as far as getting used to off flavors before I ever take this test, which I haven't even signed up for yet. But anyway, lots of stuff, lots of progress, lots of things to tackle. And yeah, this is my monthly update to myself, keeping myself committed to this goal of trying to take Certified Cicerone Level 2. I was saying sometime this year. Maybe that's still attainable. I'm not sure, at least for the written test. We'll see how it goes. But until next time, thanks for watching, whoever comes on here. And if you have any similar interest, send me comments on these videos of mine. Um, I'd like to meet more people that are also studying for Cicerone. And yeah, if there's something I totally botched, let me know. But I think this is going slow and steady. I'm enjoying the process.